Welcome back to Fantasy Football today. It's now time to Believe the Hype, presented by the all-new Toyota GR Supra. We're talking about wide receivers here, and somebody that the man on the end there has been hyping up for months is Tyrell Williams, coming off an absolutely dominant performance in week number 1 against the Broncos. Can he do it again? Is it time to believe the hype? I'm buying in. He's a start for me, and start and sit, start wide receiver here on CBS Sports HQ. But Heath Cummings, take it away on Tyrell Williams.
Fantastic matchup. It's even better this week. Like, we were worried about the matchup against Chris Harris and the Broncos last week. This week he gets the Kansas City Chiefs, who gave up long touchdowns to DJ Chark, long passes to Chris Conley, gave up a ton of action to Gardner Minshew. Tyrell Williams, the top 20 wide receiver.
The man is going to continue to be productive as long as he's the number 1 receiver for the Raiders, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. So Tyrell Williams, it's time to believe the hype, presented by Toyota GR Supra. Other starts we're looking at here at the wide receiver position, Tyler Boyd and Cooper Kupp. Boyd benefits in a big way with the matchup against the 49ers. I like what I saw from him last week, even though John Ross had the big game. You saw 8 catches for him on 11 targets, 60 yards receiving. So let everybody buy into John Ross. You continue to start Tyler Boyd. Same thing with Cooper Kupp. Dave, we're looking at your starts here, and I want you to tell me about John Brown coming off that big game last week. Can he carry it over to week 2? And what could be a little bit tougher matchup against Janoris Jenkins?
You know, I actually think it's an easier matchup because Janoris Jenkins, not sure he's going to travel with John Brown. Even if he does, I think that they're both going to be real fast. I think John Brown can come through. He's the Bills' version of Tyrell Williams. How's that? The number 1 guy, the target volume guy. He had 4 deep targets last week. The other 6 targets he had were short range. He was crossing the field. He was keeping it short. He caught 70% of those targets, and he went for over 100 yards and a touchdown. This Giants secondary, Jenkins is good, but they've got DeAndre Baker and Antonio Hamilton, and they gave up a ton of yards last week. 264 yards just to Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup. I think he's going to continue to thrive. I think Deshaun Jackson is the exact same thing for Philadelphia against Atlanta. And if you're in a pinch and you picked up Marquise Brown, love the matchup for him against Arizona. All it takes for him, there's 1 or 2 big plays, and he's off to the races with that speed.
Okay, so you're sitting Mike Evans, you're sitting Christian Kirk. Let's just revisit the Jets topic for people that are just catching up with us for the first time. So no Sam Darnold in Monday night's game against the Browns, and it's going to be Trevor Siemian. So how is your concern level for Robbie Anderson and also for Jamison Crowder?
Listen, I was sitting Robbie Anderson even if Sam Darnold was playing because I think the matchup's going to be difficult. And I don't know how much the Jets are really looking downfield anymore for Robbie Anderson. You saw all those targets go Jamison Crowder's way. I think that's just going to be part of their MO. So Robbie Anderson, I'm real nervous about starting. And now with Trevor Siemian under center, I question the accuracy. I'm not sure just how much he'll be looking for Jamison Crowder compared to other short area targets on the team. I think it's going to be a mess all the way around for the Jets. So I'm going to stay away from Crowder, too, if I can help it.
Okay, Heath, let's go now to your start wide receivers here. And one in particular, because Tyrell Williams, we believe the hype. John Brown, Dave just told you it's a good start. But D.D. Westbrook, some people concerned, given the quarterback change from the great Nick Foles to the maybe not so great Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, I mean, there's people talking about dropping him. I looked at the consensus rankings this morning. He's the number 38 wide receiver. I'm starting D.D. Westbrook, and I'm starting him with confidence this week against a Houston Texans defense that just cut their slot corner in Aaron Colvin. I don't know exactly who's going to play slot corner for them, but it's not going to be someone good. All of Westbrook's production last week came with Gardner Minshew at quarterback. He will be the most targeted Jags wide receiver. And I think this Jacksonville team, once again, just like last week, going to have to throw to keep up with the offense of the Texans.
We'll see if D.D. Westbrook continues to get the targets. Again, you saw DJ Chark and Chris Conley step up, like you alluded to. We'll see if Westbrook is still the go-to guy. We also didn't see Marquise Lee, so maybe he gets a little bit more action as well. But I think I agree with you. If you're still counting on D.D. Westbrook to be a solid receiver for you, don't give up on him yet. So the sit receivers, we talked about a couple of these guys, at least one in particular, Robbie Anderson. But John Ross, coming off that big game last week, you're not buying it, though.
It was a spectacular game. There were a couple of kind of fluky plays in there, and he did drop a couple of easy catches. It's just when we've got 2 years of John Ross and then we've got 1 game, we don't have any buys yet. There are still plenty of wide receivers that I would rather start over Ross. I'm not confident that his target volume is going to be as high as it was. I'd prefer, I wanted to add him. I want to have him on my team. I'd like to see it another week before I start him.
Be fun to see it happen, though. You know, again, you go back to last year, and this is now 8 games that A.J. Green has missed from the 2018 season into the first game of 2019. So of those 8 games, John Ross has scored a touchdown in 6 of them. So it seems as if he just tends to pick up his game whenever A.J. Green is out. We'll see if that continues again for one more week.